Hello everybody and welcome to your first day of Religious Studies 102 Comparative World Religions. We are going to use musical ritual and world religions to compare some of these traditions to each other and to make sure that you understand the basics of 5 different traditions. My name is Dr. Erin Darby, and this video is coming to you from my beautiful office in the McClung Tower. But when you're in the middle of the course, I will actually be 7 hours ahead of you in Israel. I'm an archaeologist by trade, as well as an expert in the Hebrew Bible, or what Christians call the Old Testament, and I teach a variety of courses at UT in those areas. But I love teaching this class. I like getting outside of my own specialty, and I love being a place where students across the university start thinking critically about religion and about their own place in a religious landscape. So welcome to the class. I hope you have a great time. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that's the case. Now, a word about religious studies in state university classrooms. The reason that you and I can have these conversations is because we agree to certain rules that govern how we proceed. Namely this: we're not going to talk about whether or not God exists or how people ought to relate to any particular deity. We're going to talk about how a variety of different traditions answer those questions. So, there might be some strong and very important theological implications that come to your mind as you do the readings and as we have these conversations, and that's great. I want that to happen. But inside the space of the course and in our conversations with each other, we're really going to do the hard work of understanding how different traditions deal with those questions. You won't ever be graded on whether or not you agree with the way different traditions handle those questions. But you will be graded on to what extent you sincerely have attempted to engage those particular traditions, even when they might be quite significant from the way you view the world. I also should say along those lines that, well, I suspect you've noticed in online venues people are sometimes less than kind. Now, that's partly because when people post things online, they're often posting anonymously. And that won't be the case for us. Your name will be attached to every comment you make on every discussion board and every email. But it still bears mentioning that there are human beings on the other sides of those computer screens. And so while I want you to engage the material and I want it to be important to you, I also want you to remember that the way we discuss things with each other must respect our differences, must be respectful. And that's a thin line that we're going to walk throughout the duration of the course, and my job is to make sure that we stay on it and that our conversations are productive and meaningful, but also kind and respectful. Now, another word about online classes. It may be the case that for many of you, this is your first venture into online education, and in fact it is for me as well, so we'll be working this out as we go. But I also suspect that for some of you, you are under the impression that online courses are easier than classroom courses. That is not true. Now, why is that the case? Well, first of all, if you were in my classroom, I could be in your face 3 times a week, in summer school 5 times a week, asking, did you do the reading, or where's your assignment, or asking questions and then waiting around with that awkward pause if nobody knows the answer because no one's done their homework. I can't do that in this venue, and so you have to find the motivation yourself. But I'm going to help you, and here's how. There are lots of assignments over the duration of the course. If you read through the syllabus, you'll notice that there are daily readings, there are daily discussion boards that you're expected to participate in, there are weekly tests, every week there's an exam, there are questions you have to answer about videos. All of this is designed to make sure that you are engaging every day. And a further way of doing that is, at the end of a 24-hour period, the materials related to that particular course day will be gone. You won't be able to access them. This is for your own protection. I don't want anybody cramming 10 hours worth of class into one day over the weekend. Even though it's online and even though we're not in a physical classroom, you will do best if you devote literally an hour and a half and then plus your reading homework every day to the course content, the same as you would in a classroom. The only difference is you can do that anywhere. You can do it over coffee, you can do it while you eat ice cream, heck, you can do it at 11 o'clock at night, so long as you're doing it every day. And my intention will be to make sure that happens. Now, we've already set up 3 discussion boards that you need to know about. The first is for you to go on and introduce yourself and, in fact, get to know our class and get to know me. The second is a general discussion board where you can ask questions about how the course works or where you find materials or why you can't get the discussion board loaded or any variety of things like that. Just general questions, and anybody can go on and answer each other. I can answer them or a classmate can. And the final one is meant to be discussions or questions about course content, specifically to me primarily, although not necessarily uniquely. And beyond that, we'll have all sorts of discussion boards. In fact, you'll have a discussion group where you're expected to comment on the day's reading and videos every Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, that's not in order, and Thursday. So, my intention is to make sure that we get as close to a classroom experience as humanly possible, and that you form significant relationships, even if it's via a computer screen, over the course of this semester. Remember, this is a lot of material, and we have a very short time to cover it. So if you think that this sounds too intense, you should consider whether or not the class is right for you. But I hope that you stay, because I think if you do, you'll find that you've made significant progress over our time together, and that you will emerge really being a more sensitive human being, more an educated human being, having a new lease on how to interact with the people around you, and having a sense of how to care about other people in our world. And certainly, I expect all of those things could be true for all of you. So I look forward to working together.